Yeah, there we go.
Magic touch.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Anna. Hello, Jess. Welcome to the webinar today. Hello, more people are joining. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today. My name is Mona, the product manager of e-services, including e-forms, e-appointments, and patient discovery at Centaur. Before we get started, I'd like to cover a few housekeeping items to get to know a bit more about you. It would be great to have a little background of you, and if you can please write in chat or Q&A just to say where you're coming from with the webinar today, so that we can see which city are you coming from for the webinar. You can write down in chat or Q&A. Okay, cool. We have Sharon from Melbourne. We have Anna from WA. Nice to meet you all. We have Shirley from New South Wales. And we have Bashi from Sydney. Good. Oh, we have Jess from Brisbane. I'm based in Brisbane as well. Oh, we have all from different locations. That's good. Okay. And while waiting for others to join, we would like to know if each of you has already signed up for patient discovery. Please take a moment to answer the poll displaying here now. I will launch the poll now.
Sharon, I can see your hand is raised. Is there something that you wanted to put into chat? Did you have a question?
It's telling fail to launch polling. Adam, can you try if you can launch the poll? When I'm launching the poll, it says fail to launch polling.
I'd do that if I had any idea how to do it, Mona.
Yeah, we will record this webinar, and a follow-up email including the recording of the webinar will be sent to all registered tomorrow, so you can have access to the recording of the webinar tomorrow as well. Yes, it's available for New Zealand people as well.
All right. Well,
awesome.
It doesn't look like the poll's working, Mona. Maybe if you want to throw in chat whether you're currently participating in the patient discovery program or whether you're interested in learning about it and really understanding with a view that you might sign up.
Yeah, you can just share in the chat if you're currently using patient discovery. Okay, awesome. We are just waiting for a few more people to join, and we'll be starting the webinar shortly. I'm sure you will enjoy today's webinar as we have a lot to share with you. Okay, I think we can start the webinar now. Let's dive into today's topic on the proven tips to attract new patients to your dental practice with patient discovery. Today, I will have an overview of patient discovery and its participating partners, what's included in patient discovery and its benefits to dental practices. Then our special guest presenter, Adam Jones, Business Unit Director for Bookings at HealthShare, will outline current bookings trends and the tips for new patient acquisition. As you know, HealthShare is one of Australia's leading healthcare platforms and is a large user base of patients and health professionals. Research shows that over the past 6 years, the cost of acquiring new customers has increased by 60%. This trend is attributed to several factors, including higher competition and the need for more sophisticated marketing strategies to capture and retain customers. At the same time, consumers are becoming less trusting of brands. This is caused by factors such as misinformation, overwhelming advertising, and past experiences with brands that fail to meet expectations. These factors make it even more challenging to acquire new customers efficiently. In response to these challenges, companies must adopt smarter strategies for customer acquisition. This includes leveraging data analytics to understand customer behavior, utilizing targeted and personalized marketing campaigns, and enhancing the customer experience to foster loyalty and advocacy. And specifically in the dental industry, patient discovery can significantly help dental practices acquire new patients more efficiently. With patient discovery, we had brought together 6 leading dental directories to bring your practice a potential audience of over 18 million patients per month. When you join Patient Discovery, you are listed on all the participating partners' website and are ready to obtain the combined monthly dental traffic. New patients are connected directly to your e-appointments from your website listings. And here are the 6 patient discovery partners. We are working with Hotdog, HealthShare, My Health First, powered by HealthShare, National Dental Plan, Dentist.com, and Hum. Now we might need to know what are included in patient discovery when you sign up for patient discovery. When you sign up for patient discovery, you will have free profiles set up on each partner directory. You will also have free featured listing on each partner website. And it's fully integrated with your Dental for Windows or Dental for Web appointment book and your e-appointments portal. Also, you will need to deal with Centaur rather than multiple directory services and save time. In other words, you can save time by joining one simple program that provides a listing on multiple directories. And also, you will have detailed and easy dashboard reporting via your e-appointments portal. And the good thing is that there is only one-off success charge of only $59 per confirmed new patient that attends their appointment, and there will be no setup fee. So listing on all dental directories will be completely free in patient discovery. And I will say some of the benefits of patient discovery to dental practices. Besides being listed on 6 leading dental directories and free exposure to over 18 million active patients per month, practices using patient discovery are getting an average of 7 new patients per month. And given that the average cost of acquiring a new patient in Australia is approximately $250 and new patients through patient discovery are only $59, practices can save over $1,300 per month in new patient acquisition cost by signing up for patient discovery. Here I will discuss some of the main improvements in patient discovery portal, which you can have access in eServices portal in next release. The first important feature that will be added to Patient Discovery's self-managed portal is that practices can update providers' details, such as first name, last name, provider number, gender, and specialty in provider profile menu. The second feature is that practices can update practices information such as general information including surgery name, email address, phone number, opening hours, practice email, and language spoken in the practice in practice profile menu. Practices can update their providers and practices information in the e-services portal, and this information can be used and extracted by relevant patient discovery partners and can automatically be updated and displayed in partners' website. Also, practices will be able to block certain numbers from booking appointments or signing up in the practice, and this can be done via blocklist menu in e-services portal. Here we will go through the process on how to maintain the online books. For setting up a new practitioner in Dental for Windows, what you will need to do is to go to Dental for Windows and then in the appointment book, part of Dental for Windows under options, and then you go to set up all books. And if you want to add a new practitioner, you click on add new, then you will add a description. The description could be the full name of the new provider or any other description about the practitioner. And tick is active and use time measure reminders. And a start and finish date and press OK. Once you have added the practitioner here, press exit and go back to options and select set up e-appointments. Here you will be able to select the book to sync. You can also see number of licenses each practitioner purchased. Here you need to put a tick in this sync box and select sync with e-appointments and then press update. Now it's been synced with e-appointment website. In the setup e-appointment screen, you have the opportunity to force the sync as well. What that means is that if you add a new practitioner and you want his availability to go through the e-services portal immediately, you can press the force sync button and this will force the sync between Dental for Windows and your online booking e-services portal. And once you set up in Dental for Windows, you can sign into your e-services portal with your administration account and you can find e-appointment reasons under management menu. Go to e-appointments management and then select providers reasons list. This will show all the practitioners available at that practice. You will select a practitioner, then you should set up all the appointment reasons here so that they sync through to HealthShare and other patient discovery partners. And you need to click on each of the reason and you should edit reason duration and save as well. Active reasons include checkup and clean, consultation, emergency, crowns and bridges, exam and clean, extractions, and etc. Just to note that the appointment reason none does not appear on patient discovery partner websites. If this is the only reason that you have published for a provider, they will have no availabilities published for patients to book. And remember to select the same appointment reasons for all practitioners so that your list is concise and you do not have a long list with the same appointment reason listed with the slight variations, making it difficult for patients to book their reason for the right provider online. And always publish white space for best results with patient discovery. This will allow patients to choose a time that is suitable for their schedule. And if you don't have enough options, the patient will book with another practice that does suit their schedule better. And also remember to use preset slots to block out time that you are not available. And this will take the appointment time offline and you can remove it later if the time opens up again. To create a preset slot, you need to go to options and go to pre-booked slots. In order to add preset slots into the e-appointment book, you just need to right click on any item in your e-appointment book and click on insert new, and then go to preset slot. And this is a screenshot of patient discovery sign-up form and the information you need to complete in this form, such as full name, email address, phone number, ABN, practice opening hours, and accepted health funds. You also need to upload practice logo, which is mandatory, and practice images, which are optional. You also need to give us some details of the providers, including full name, gender, specialty, provider number, and the AHPRS registration number as well. Then the next stages of your sign up with patient discovery will be done by our ICS departments. That was some useful tips on how to maintain your online books in Dental for Windows. If you have any question, please write in chat or Q&A section, and we will reply to your question at the end of the webinar. And now I pass it to Adam to give you an overview of HealthShare, one of the biggest participating partners in patient discovery, and some of the proven tips to, for new patient acquisition. Over to you, Adam. Now you can share your screen. Yeah.
Thank you, Mona. That was some great information on patient discovery. And before I share the screen, I thought I'd just do a brief introduction of myself. I lead the bookings business unit for HealthShare and all of the products within that suite. So my job is really deeply integrated with this, and it's about how do we find, attract, and bring new patients to our dental providers. My background has been, I've been with HealthShare for about a year, and my roles prior to that have been very much centered around this subject matter. I've been the Chief Growth Officer for a payments business. I've run a digital growth marketing agency, and have been the CEO of some media and travel businesses. So I really love this subject matter. I'm passionate about HealthShare and hope that what I share with you is very useful in starting to think about how you can really utilize patient discovery to grow your business. So I will try to keep most of the information that I share very general and things that you can utilize across any platform. However, it's important that we do introduce HealthShare to you as new, as we're relatively new to the ancillary sector. So this is an overview of HealthShare's platform. So it's very, very significant, and we interact with a lot of different parts of the healthcare system. Last year, we acquired a business called My Health First, which is the bookings business that now sits within HealthShare. And we've integrated bookings across all of our channels. What those channels are is we have our specialist directory, which is used by 17,500 GPs every month as their primary source of finding healthcare providers to write referrals for their clients. A lot of that specialists, but from an ancillary perspective, behind only psychologists, dental is the second biggest category for referrals. There's 220,000 referrals, or 2.5 million being written through that platform every year. We also have that directory published to the public, which is more patient-facing. That's what you'll find if you visit healthshare.com.au. We have a comprehensive directory, so we don't only list customers. If you all jump on there, you'll most likely find that you exist currently on there as a dental practitioner, albeit maybe in a very basic form, as we have a lot of partners with private health funds and various other data sources in the market that help us make sure if a patient or a GP visits one of our platforms, they can find everybody. That's visited by about 900,000 visitors every month. And then we have this really interesting relationship with the private health funds, where we partner with them to power their finder provider services. So if you jump on HCF, for example, or Bupa, and you go looking through their finder participating dentist directory, those features are powered by HealthShare. And what we're currently doing is rolling out progressively our booking functionality across those sources. And then we have quite a different platform, which is a pre-consultation smart questionnaire for GPs called Better Consult, which is really about getting rich data about the patient before they come in to improve patient care, but is not really relevant for this conversation. What I thought we would start with is I've pulled together some data that comes from our aggregate booking data, and then quite a bit of data that comes from market research that we conducted prior to entering the booking business, which really starts to unpack Some of the reasons that online bookings are so important to dental practices in 2024. So the first stat, which really speaks for itself, and I think would probably resonate with most of you, is that our life has changed a lot over the last 20 or 30 years. And we're now in a dynamic where most of us have two people in a household that are working. We're juggling jobs and commuting and kids. And the time that we find in our lives to do things like make a booking for the dentist or go online tends to be after hours. It tends to be on our commute to work, or it tends to be in the evenings after kids are in bed and dinner's been had and so on. And this is based on literally millions of bookings made over the span of our booking business. And that number is very consistent year in and year out, that 35% of bookings are made outside of business hours. And realistically, what that means is if we're relying on phone calls made to a practice, is we're not making ourselves available to those customers. And we may miss out on bookings, or at least creating a lot of friction in that process and a less than ideal patient experience. I feel like this alone is a great reason, if you're not already accepting bookings online and using the e-services module with Centaur, this is a great reason to do it. Then taking a look at some of the market research we did, we looked at what are the most important factors when patients are looking for a practitioner. And funnily enough, whilst it's not overly inspired, the top one is actually just how far away from my house are you? Importantly is reputation. So that tends to come across really well through things like word of mouth marketing, which is probably a great organic marketing source for you all. The wait time for appointment, which is impossible to see without having booking functionality showing next available time. The ease of the booking, which is certainly supported by being able to do that quickly online. And interestingly, the GP recommendation, which talks to that GP integration is something that's quite important. And you can see it sort of trickles down to things which are much more marginal. With the ease of booking being right up there, I think it was the third highest, you can see that for all patients, whilst they don't consider any of the methods of booking particularly difficult, online bookings are considered to be the easiest, with 92% of patients finding that an easy way to book. I can only imagine who the other 8% are, and maybe they sort of sit in the category of some of my parents or aunties who are still using Nokia flip phones. This trend is something that I think is quite compelling as well, which is probably a lot of your existing patients are quite comfortable calling. They probably have existing relationships with you. There's a lot of stickiness. So the lifetime engagement with most patients for a dental practice is very, very long. But what you'll find is a lot of those newer patients and those high value ones, so people at the age that their families with young kids, where you can win one new patient and get a whole family. So they're a really fantastic patient to win. They prefer online bookings. If we look at that 18 to 39 age bracket, it is by far the most preferred way to book. And you can see it's the only age bracket where currently it's the preferred choice over the phone. But what's going to happen over time is those people who are currently 18 to 39 are going to continue to age and move into the next bracket. And we can only imagine that those digital natives that are growing up now are going to be even greater than 42%. So it's very important as you grow your business and look for younger patients and new sources to drive that lifetime value over the long term, that we do have that available. The main pain points when making a booking: difficulty finding available appointments, difficulty finding a suitable time or date, the time taken, lack of information about the practitioner. We can see none of these are particularly painful. I think the top is 10%. But again, most of these would be addressed through the patient discovery platform, where you have all of your availability slotted in. They have an API that pulls through your practice info through to the partner directories. So it fills out all those issues around available slots and info about the practitioner. And then this one, which is in a little bit of a different vein, but 7 out of 10 patients have private health insurance. What we have found when we've done our analysis on Google is that outside of what you would call head terms like dentist near me or dentist, is the next highest volume terms are health fund / dentist / area. So that would be someone saying HCF preferred dentist near me, Bupa dentist near me, Medibank dentist near me. So importantly, those privately insured patients, once they invest in private health insurance, they really want to make sure they redeem the benefits of that with preferred partners. Something to be mindful of. They all have very different offerings. Some of them potentially have deeper discounts for members, but it might have more of an impact on your gross margin. Others might be more lucrative, but deliver you less new customers. But definitely something that's worth being mindful of if you're not already thinking that way. And then so moving aside from that, and it'll probably start to flow through on the tips for things that you can do to really help to grow new patient acquisition, is we've broken this down into a few categories to start thinking about how you make your business and your profile ready to create the foundation, how you get your message out there, and then really how you maximize that in the long run. And I've broken this down into 4 tips. So the first tip is that the content drives conversions. What that means is once someone lands at your practice website or on your profile listing on one of these directories, if there's not a lot of information, it's very unlikely that you're going to turn that person into a new patient. So really try to make your practice stand out. This is an example from our directory. It would be the same principles would stand if you were looking at any of the other public directories that are available in the market. But some of the very simple things you can do to start making your practice stand out more is include a brand icon. Nothing looks worse than a blank avatar. Fill out some information. If you have specialization, if your business has won awards, these are fantastic things to include. Add a phone number so that if someone doesn't want to book online, they can call you. Having the map location, we saw that the #1 driver of making a choice on a new practitioner was how far are you from my house. So being able to represent that visually is fantastic. Include images. This helps to personalize the experience. It gives people an idea of the look and feel of your practice. If you can show interactions with practitioners so that they sort of feel like they know them and it personalizes it a little bit, that's fantastic as well. And then opening hours. If you're not 7 days a week, making sure that a patient can fully evaluate whether that works for them prior to making a decision. Beyond the practice, your personal profile is critical as well, especially once we're out on the directories. This is your opportunity to really take the huge investment you've put into qualifications and education and the years of experience that you've had in your business and turn that into something really valuable in building your practice. It's a great way for you to build trust. Some of the key things, and probably the most important one, is actually just including an image of yourself. Who is the person that I'm booking out with? Again, as much as you can in a digital environment, it personalizes that relationship a little bit. Another very important one, I think only behind Canada, we're the 2nd highest country in immigration per capita. So if you speak other languages, it's very important that you include this information. You can see Dr. Fajo here highlights that she speaks English and Arabic. We have others who will say, I speak English and Korean or whatever it may be, but it really helps you speak to those niche markets that may really have a specific need or a barrier around English. A detailed bio. This should include any affiliations that you've got, awards that you've won. Certainly put your educational qualifications in and specialization. So is that cosmetic dentistry? Is it, Invisalign and retainers? It's worth building all of this out. So if the customer's looking at your profile because they have a specific need, you can actually say, yes, I do that. And you take another reason for them not to book out of the equation. Importantly, having that booking availability is critical as well for the reasons that we'd highlighted. So once you have that content up and ready, and I would say this is the starting point, make sure you have that available, is start to build out availability. And I say this because sometimes when we're interrogating, why is this practice being so successful and this one is really across the same platforms, has made the investment in content, but they're not getting the same results, is there are a couple of things that we find some practices do, which we wouldn't recommend, which is that they try to reserve only a few slots for online bookings and leave the balance for their word of mouth. And as Mona had highlighted, all of your availability comes directly out of the Centaur PMS. So you don't need to do that. You might as well make all the slots available. It means if you have a cancellation, that slot will become available again online and you can fill it. So your vacancy rate will come down. And over the space of a year, this can become really, really meaningful to your business. The other one that we sometimes see is that not all the practitioners get enabled. So the ones who have a really strong historical customer base, they get left off the program. And maybe if you've got some new dentists that you're trying to really build up to get some traction within the practice, you'll put them on patient discovery. For the same reason I just highlighted, if one of your regulars falls out, it just makes sense to bring another person in. And you'd rather be dealing with that problem where you've got this enormous existing customer base and you're trying to slot them all in rather than being in a situation where you have cancellations and you've got blank spots throughout the day. That's an easy one. So once you've got those, so now you've got your content for your practice, you've got this great personal profile that lets people know your qualifications, what you specialize in. They can see what you look like. You've got all of your possible availability open. I think this is the point at which it makes sense to really maximize your distribution. Mona shared a screen with all of the platforms that they work with. Just through being on patient discovery, you can opt into a huge amount of platforms that are reaching, I think it was 18 million Australian patients. So it's enormous distribution. And the model is a pay on performance. So if you don't get a new patient, you're not paying, unlike some of the paid digital marketing channels where you're paying per click, whether they come on board or not. So when thinking about distribution, there are a number of channels that you can look at. And the most common one is essentially what healthshare.com.au is and what a lot of the other players in the market are, which is that they're public directories. Anyone can type in that domain into Google. They can jump on there and find practitioners. That journey typically does start at Google. Some people might have a brand preference and come directly to HealthShare or one of the others. But for the most part, the value of these practices is that because they're bringing all the information in, they can really deliver customers convenience around finding who is that practice that's nearest to me, who has availability, who specializes in what I'm looking to have done, who is able to speak my language. And then importantly, I know some of the platforms we bring in gap scheme data from the private health insurance partners that we have so that they can also see an idea of how much is no gap or partially filled from private health insurers, which is a significant driver. They're really good at SEO. So going out and trying to compete one-on-one as an individual practice on Google is very hard to get the organic listing up the top. And when it comes to the paid search, very expensive. And I think Mona shared the typical cost to convert a new customer is $250. And I know it's several dollars per click, and you're often only going to convert 1 or 2%. So that sort of, you can reverse engineer that and see that it makes a lot of sense. The reality is these are still quite competitive environments because part of the value prop is to bring everybody in. So it's something also to be mindful of there. This is another channel. As I said, it's something that we work quite extensively in, but private health fund members are a huge audience. I think if you just looked across HCF, Bupa, and Medibank, there are 10 million members across those three alone. And then there's a lot of very specific ones, nurses and midwives, Commonwealth Bank health insurance, uni health, there's defense health, there's Navy health. So there are a lot of vocation-based ones that have quite significant and loyal followings as well. And what they really bring you is you get the benefit of the reputation and strength of brand. They know that from an APRA perspective and a conduct perspective, you're vetted on the way in. There's a highly incentivized member base because they've invested a lot of money to get privately insured. So as I mentioned earlier, when it comes to the Google terms, they're out there looking for, hey, which practices can I actually redeem my benefits in? And they're just massive member bases. So being able to leverage their platforms and marketing is enormous. In September, we roll out across 10 of these partners, and we'll progressively be looking to do that across the rest of them as we continue to integrate the bookings across our platforms. This is an example of a workflow that we've got. So we currently power the Book a Dentist online feature within the Medibank app. When you first log in, you see this big green Find a Provider button. So it's the first thing you see. And then the first button at the top of that is literally Book a Dentist before you go into any of the other details below. They already pull in all the member data. So the conversion process to make a booking is very, very quick for a member because they don't have to fill out the full form. They can put in their location and hit Show Dentists. They get this great little map experience. Their information's already pulled in, and just by hitting that red Confirm Booking button, they're done. So this is a great example where patient discovery actually just starts at Centaur, goes out to a partner, and then is ultimately propagated out to this wide network of partners that realistically it would be very difficult for even a chain group to go and execute on. And for an independent dentist, it's a really fantastic service. And then finally is this GP referral directory. I think I mentioned that Beach Software had dental as the second highest ancillary category to get referrals from GPs. We've really been trying to build out that category so that we've got great content there on HealthShare since we've bought My Health First. It's featured in the primary referral directory for GPs across the main PMSs. That would be Best Practice, ZMed, and Medical Director, which would make up about 95% of the market. It's heavily skewed towards new patients. If you have an existing dentist, you're not going to ask your GP for a referral. So this is probably not as high a volume category as Google, but it's a very high quality category. And it's quite a unique channel opportunity. It's very hard to get an interface inside the practice management software of a healthcare provider. So once we've got the distribution out across these channels, really the next hurdle to get over is about making sure that within all of the providers that they have, that you are able to be discovered and that you do everything you can to improve that discoverability. So the first one would be make sure you optimize for ranking. And I think if you do the things in tips 1 and 2, which is build out the content and make yourself available, that would largely work across all of the platforms. But understand what factors drive the rankings for that directory or marketplace. It typically is things like your profile images, unique and detailed practitioner and practice info, booking availability, and then there are generally paid options where, as in most directories, you can pay to have a featured position up the top. But this is really important to understand. And then finally, looking at those paid options, I think they're available across most directories, but the point of these is they really give you preferred placement within the search results. So in these high volume areas, here's an example of a dentist in Docklands. You can see that there's a number of featured listings there where they come up before any of the organic ones. These placements are typically going to be based on geographical region, so it's always still tapping into that desire for customers to find someone that's really convenient to them, and really just increases visibility. So looking at all of this in summary, it's important that you really spend time upfront building out content on the practice and the dentists. This is probably the number one thing that gets neglected. Because it takes time. It's not transactional. It's not clear at that point in time what the return on investment is going to be. Maybe it's a bit of an Australian thing. We don't like self-promoting and talking ourselves up, but it's really critical that you take the time building that foundation so that once you actually do get your message out there, it's able to convert customers. It's really selling the value proposition. It's selling your specialization. And then the second point would be to open up that availability to make sure that you minimize vacancy and the customers have maximum convenience. So that's the other big downside of limiting time slots, is you might just be opening up slots that don't work for a certain group of customers, whether they're shift workers or school teachers, or they start later in the day. It's really about maximizing the convenience to those customers. When thinking about the distribution, another trap is to really spread yourself across a lot of channels, but they're all really coming from the one customer source. And maybe that's solely competing with you. Like, are they all starting on Facebook or Google? So just think about, and it doesn't mean you shouldn't have distribution across multiple partners where the journey might start at Google, but try to think about what are the other sources that new customers might originate from, and how can I find ways to actually get my profile and my listings throughout those, because it's going to increase your opportunity to bring new patients into your practice. And then finally is, once you get out there and you've proven it and you're comfortable that you understand how the process works, you're getting new customers, the economics make sense. I think one thing Mona mentioned earlier was that the cost of acquiring a new customer is typically $250. The data provided by the ADA also showed that the average cost of a first appointment from a dental patient is $283. So when you think about that cost of $59, $283 up front, if they have kids and the family ends up coming along, that can quickly become $1,000 within the first year. And then look, there's a lot of different data sources talking about lifetime value, but the lowest I've seen is an average lifetime value up in the thousands. So when you're thinking about investing in patient discovery, if you're thinking about making investments in any other paid opportunities within the channels, first just make sure that it's working for you, that you're getting the customers in, the initial appointments at the value you expect. They're coming back for their next 6-month appointment, so that they're not disloyal and bouncing around. But I think what you'll find is that this is a really hugely lucrative opportunity as long as you've got the availability to fill there. So these are really the things that we would recommend anyone does to get value out of the service. And certainly the feedback that we've got from practices that have come on board with us through patient discovery has been fantastic. So I will finish there and hand over for any questions that you might have about patient discovery or HealthShare.
Thank you, Adam, for the useful tips for improving new patient acquisition. And thank you all for listening. If you have any questions, you can write down any questions in chat or Q&A section. And now please take a moment to participate in this poll and let us know if you would like or interested to find out more about patient discovery. And one of our team members will be in touch with you. Hopefully, I don't know what's wrong. There's some technical issues with Teams today. The launch does not pull. Okay, can I ask you to write down in chat section if you are interested in to know more about patient discovery, and one of our team members will be in touch with you shortly. Thank you. Thank you, Stan. Oh, I think the poll.
I've successfully launched the poll.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you can participate in the poll and let us know if you are interested to know more about patient discovery, and one of our team members will be in touch with you shortly. And as I mentioned before, a recording of this webinar will be sent out to all registered via a follow-up email tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you. It seems there are lots of people wants to know more about patient discovery.
We've only got 6 poll participants. Get clicking. Well, you tell me when to end the poll, Mona.
Yeah, maybe we can wait for others to answer to the poll. Okay, cool. I think we can end the poll. Oh, there we have a question here. Kate asks, is it synced to all clinicians that have e-appointment availability? Only I wasn't aware until today that we were live on Hotdog, etc., but can only see one clinician when we have 3 registered. Kate, you need to go to Dental for Windows and add the 2 other clinicians. And as I mentioned in my presentation, and you need to sync. And when you sync it, it goes automatically to eServices portal. And then you need to, add the provider reason in eServices portal as well. And once you added the 2 extra clinicians, you need to complete a patient discovery change request form as well. I will send the link of the change request form here, and I will receive the submission and send it to Hotdog to add the 2 other clinicians as well. Patient discovery. Let me send the link of the patient discovery change request form. Okay, let me send the link to you. Okay, once you have added the 2 extra providers in Dental for Windows and then sync it so that you can update it in eServices portal, please complete the patient discovery change request form and write down the details of the change that you want to add to extra providers, and write down the name of the provider and the details. And I will receive the submission and send it to any relevant patient discovery partners. It can be Hotdog or other partners that you want to be listed on. Okay. Thank you
Any
all.
further questions?
Yeah, any
Or
further questions?
doesn't look like it, Mona.
Yeah. Thank you all for joining us for today's webinar. The recording of the webinar will be sent out to all registered via a follow-up email tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you all. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.